Good morning, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I've got my coffee here on my side. I'm going to be drinking that, and I'm going to go over the IWM, the QQQ, the SPY, and the SPX to tell you where I stand over the week for next week and kind of show you a couple tricks of the trade that I do when I'm looking for supports and resistance levels. Plus, we might go through my watch list and see if I find anything that kind of sticks out at me that maybe we'll have a continuation run, or maybe we found a bottom of some of them on my watch list. So again, this is a strategy that I started about 3 or 4 years ago about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now, and trying to find the possible closest spot to support and running it up to resistance levels by using chart patterns and moving averages. So we got the IWM, this is the 20-day 1 hour. We got the QQQ, the SPY, and the SPX. Now I liked the SPY last week, kind of where we hit on the weekly support level. And then I know a few traders, and we got 3 of them that are above the 200, which means we're starting to get bullish in these trades. And we have the SPX that needs to hit up to the 200 before it starts to get bullish. So we could have a run up to the 200 on this baby right here, and maybe even break it this coming week. I'm feeling bullish. All the stuff that's coming out has been good news, besides the fear-mongering of the fat cats that just don't like Donald Trump. He's doing everything I wanted him to, and I voted for the guy because I want him to drain the swamp. I want him to clean up the mess. They've been in there laundering money for the last 4 years, got filthy rich, the Democrat politicians, and all they've done is created chaos, wars, and a lot of drama. So the more they yak, I want them to. We don't want to censor the Democrats like they tried to censor us. We want them to keep spouting off their mouths, and it just makes them look stupid and ugly. They're not for the middle class anymore. They're not for the working man. They're for the criminal. So there's nothing I like about the Democrats these days. I used to be one, but I changed my platform a long time ago, once Obama took office and started the race baiting stuff. So I just don't want to deal with them anymore. I found more attractive women in the Republican side, and actually more level-headed women, instead of them wackos on the left. So that's part of my rant for this morning. Now, I like using the different kind of time frames when I'm looking for supports and resistance levels. I'm going to first start off with the weekly and the monthly time frames on these 4 indices, and we're going to get right to it. Let me see if I got one up here. I'm going to go ahead and expand that up. There we go. Let's change this to the monthly time frame. And let's move this over a little bit. It doesn't want to move over. What's that? We'll just leave it like it is. It ain't going to matter anyway. Well, maybe it might. Well, I'll just leave it like it is. I'll just move this thing over. There we go. I want to see them numbers that I'm going to pull up on this thing. This was Tesla last week. We did break the 200, and I think that was a very respectable support to break, or resistance, was to break that 200 SMA and the EMA. And we did kind of triple top up here, and we're at a yin-yang right now, major resistance. So if this thing kind of pulls back, it's going to be a trade to take. And I'd say we try to keep it above that 200 on the 1 hour, right around 238, maybe this previous high right here. And we'll clean this on up so I can kind of point it out to you. But we're going to go right at, and we'll come back to this one. What am I wanting to do here? I want to clear that up. Change this to the monthly time frame. We'll go right into the IWM. So the IWM really likes to be down here at support level, a little bit lower than this, but for right now we're bouncing off the 50, and this is on the month time frame, so we could hold this support level and run it back up to the 21, which is right around 208 on the monthly. And I'm going to go ahead and put a price line in there right around that area, 208, and kind of make this a red line. Then I'll know that we're looking at the monthly time frame, a hard resistance to break. Then I'm going to take this down to the weekly, and we'll go ahead and put that 50 on here too and see if that matches up with anything. And then we'll go to the weekly. You got to go to different time frames to try to, yeah, see that weekly on that 50 SMA on the monthly also stops here at the 200. So that's a real solid support. If we can maintain that 201 area this week, or even come back down and hit the 196, 96, 197 area, which that's perfect right there. 196, 197. And that's the 200 EMA on the weekly. Then we'll take this to the daily and see if that lines up with anything. So on the daily, we got to respect the 9. If we can respect that 9, and that's going to be right around 204.43, we could probably run this up to that monthly resistance level at 208.02. So at 208.02, hitting a 21 EMA will be a good resistance to break. It'll be a hard resistance to break. We could consolidate for a couple of days, or we could just go ahead and motor on out and break that 208 and then run it all the way up long for a long swing, about $8 to 216. But I see a pullback right here at support, so I'm going to go ahead and put a price line right there on the daily. And I'm thinking just under 215, around 214 area, 214.43 to be exact. But anything close to it, I would think about scaling out. If we did break the 21, which is at 208.02 area, and run that back up. Now, this is IWM. We had a big old long sell-off on this and a breakout. This is what I call the snake. You see it right over here, a sneaky snake. So you want to draw you a little channel of resistance on that snake, and we can come back and hit that double bottom and start to go sideways all this week, or we can break out at 208. Now, I thought all the numbers were good. Pow was a little bullish. Inflation was actually moving down, not up. The only jobs that are being lost are government jobs, which I'm you know, I don't like to be controlled, and it's all about DEI or whatever you want to call that, wokeism. So they're hiring people that aren't qualified for the job themselves, and that's about it. So I'm bullish. Everything telling me that to be bullish right now, and we've had a good strong pullback, about 3 months, 3 black crows. If you go up to the weekly, now I don't know if this is going to show it on this stock or not, but let's just take a look at the weekly here again. Yeah, see, we have 3 black crows with a hammer. It's a long leg doji, kind of like a hammer, and we tweezer bottomed at that support level. So this thing looks real bullish to me right now. Real bullish. So if we do come back and hit that 200 on the weekly, I mean, I think we can hold that and start to move this thing up. I really do. And that's the IWM. This is my watch list. I also have this set up to where I put on my message center. Tells me what stocks are, if they're bullish or bearish. And I can kind of get a clue how this is set up with my alert system. I have this set up to ready, set, go, which means maybe a breakout gives me new highs and lows. For right now, we're just going to go ahead and go through the indices. So the IWM looks really, really good right here. I'd be looking at that this coming week. It's one of the hardest ones to trade. Now, here we're on the weekly here on the QQQ. This is one that also showed it was bullish on the hour time frame when it was above the 200. And we're going to take this to a monthly time frame and just get a look at the monthly. Now, I only pull the monthly up when we've had a good sell-off. And this thing could pull back more. I mean, it actually could and bounce off that 21. So we're just going to go ahead and put a chop there. We're going to put that support level right there. Just call it a hard support at 450. I mean, that's a $30 dip. And we've not quite had 3 black crows yet. So if things do get bad next week, I'd be looking at that 450 for a solid support. And it doesn't even want to touch the 21. But to break resistance, we'd have to break the 9. And this is on the monthly time frame. So let's go ahead and put that candle right there. 488.81 would be your resistance this coming week to break for it to move higher. Let's go to the weekly now and see if the weekly tells us anything. Now see, we are bouncing off the 63 right here, so I'm going to put a price line right there at the 63 and call that a solid support. If we can hold that, we'll try to break the 50. We did hit the 50 last week, and she kind of created what you call a spinning top to almost like a doji with an inside candle inside off this hammer. And there's your 3 black crows. So this one also looks good. I'd say you'd have to break that 50 SMA, and I'm going to go ahead and put me a price line on that. I'm going to change that color to green. Then I'll know that that's the 50 SMA on the weekly. And we'll see what price, 485.81, something like that. And we'll go take this to the daily now. This is what we really need to pay attention to on the daily. Daily, we're definitely below support. The 200 right here at 488. And then we got that 485.81. That's one that we really need to try to break. That's going to be your hard resistance at a double top into the gap. So if we break that 485.81, I don't see no reason why we can't move this up another $3 and try to break the 20. That's this 200 EMA. And I think at 200 EMA, right now, we need to break the 9. This is on the daily. The 9, the 9, the 9, the 9, the 9. So if we break the 9, right there at 480.79, I think we can run this all the way up about $8 and try to hit that 200 EMA. So now we got that on the daily. Let's just look at the hour time frame right here. On the hour, we're bullish because we're above that 200. And we got a head and shoulders right here with a higher low. So we want to try to maintain that 200 to keep this thing very bullish and run it on up. Now we do have an overhead resistance, and I'm going to show you what that is. And I think we got a triple top on it. Take your body of your candle, run it to the body of that one. So that overhead resistance is at 483. And that's what you got to try to break this coming week. We did have a nice little breakout into close. We could easily pull back, respect the 200 on the 1 hour, and still be a great trade to take this trade in. Plus we have what you call a symmetrical flag set up. Things get nasty, we could come down here for a triple bottom. So I'm liking this setup too, and it's going to be one we got to keep an eye on. Hard resistance right around 485. If we can break that double top, we'll go higher. If not, we'll hit it, start to pull back and consolidate off this triple top breakout right around 483. So those are our 2 targets to hit this week, with a solid support right here at 477.24. Let's put a price line right there, and that'll be off the 200. and we'll make that red for a solid buy into next week. And this is on the 1 hour time frame. So then we got the SPY. Now this one I thought was very interesting last week when I called it. We got like a 5-day on the hour time frame. We came back on Friday and pulled back and hit this here solid support level on the 5-day time frame. We had right here, right here, right here, and right here, and we bounced up and run up and hit the 50 SMA. So Jimmy's liking that a lot. If it does pull back $5, I'd be looking to say this is a solid support, and we want to try to this. Can anybody tell me what this is? Can anybody tell me what this pattern is? It's called a Darvas box. So if you could run this back up, Darvas, D-A-R-V-A-S, Darvas box. It's a horizontal channel, and it's bullish. And we did come down and have a triple quad bottom down here. If you can count to 4, you can make a little bit more. So it's all about breaking that 50 SMA right there at 565.25. Now I want to bring this back to the weekly and see if any of them lines match up to anything on the weekly time frame. And they kind of do. You got the 50 SMA. We got to break that 50 SMA on the weekly to bring this up to the highest level for next week, which would be right around 574.60. We got an inside candle, and I do believe solid support is going to be no lower than that 63 at 551 for a strong buy. Very strong. We'll take us to the daily. The daily, the same thing. We got to break that 9. If we can bust up above the 9 at 565.25, I think we can take this to the 200. Now this, the 200 SMA, and you got the 21 touching it. So if we could hold this support at 559, 560 and maintain that, and then break the 9 EMA, we could get this up to the 200. And this is on the daily. And then we got, I was really proud about this call last week because we hit that bottom. Now SPX is the only one that's bearish right now. And we're going to take this to the weekly. That's the monthly. And no lower than the 21 right here at 53.43.69. In the daily, or the weekly, we stopped at the 63. So that's a solid support, and resistance to break will be the 50 SMA. And then you should be able to run it up to this cross. Now this is a bearish crossover. If the 9 can stay above the 21, and we're going to put that resistance level right there at 58.65.60. It might have a hard time holding that, and that's about $200 on up, and you got a resistance level right here to maintain right at 57.84. So all in all, I think we could pull back and hit that 63 and bounce off that 63 at 55.26.46, and then break the 50 SMA and run it up to the 21 or the 9 EMAs. Now, as we go through the watch list, I'm just going to point out a few things that I like so far. Tesla, I'm really starting to like this trade. We are bouncing off the 200 EMA, and let's get rid of this. And we got to break the 200 SMA. So that 247.20 means a lot this coming week, and if we can break that, we should be able to get this back up to the 50. Now I've had like 252 for a hard resistance on this stock, and we'll show you why here in a second. With a solid support no lower than that 230 right now on Tesla, and that'll keep this stock bullish. I love Tesla. So see that 267 hitting the 21? we got to break the 9. See how the 9 is respecting. So if we can bounce above that 9, we should be able to run this all the way up to the 21 and probably take some profit off the table and let it consolidate in this channel right here. Long will be 280. If something really happens good, 283.50 for a hard resistance, and that's at the 200 SMA on the daily. Now you take it to the hour, and we did break the 200 EMA, which means that's very bullish, and that's where I'd want to put my support level off the 21 right there on the 1 hour time frame and maintain that support at 243.12, and this stock stays bullish. Right now we've got an underlying resistance level a little bit lower than that 200 on the 1 hour, and we've got a hard resistance to break right around the 250. So that's why I'm saying about using different time frames. You can see we hit resistance, we hit resistance, we hit resistance, we hit resistance. So maybe the 5th time we come up here, we can break that and start gaining some respect. Or we just pull back and take it around 243, and it keeps it bullish as could be. Apple's another one that's had a pretty good hard sell-off, and we did break here on Apple. We did break the 200, which means that's a good sign that we can move up higher. And that next resistance is going to be right around 222.28. Then long right around 224.33 with a solid support at 214.06. And that's a pivot point inside of that channel. Intel is all about news and a new CEO. This one here is kind of an iffy stock to be trading. New CEO comes in and the stock runs up. So this thing can pull back and find support right around this area right in here, right around 22.56, and still stay bullish. Nike, bad earnings. Nike had bad earnings, and we got to break the 21 to run this back up to 70 bucks. Now I'm kind of got better feelings about Nike and these new shoes. I've never had a pair. I don't think I ever want a pair. But I'm shopping. I'm looking at them. I think I got that new Venero 18. I was kind of looking at them. We got to break 70 bucks, and we got to maintain this here head and shoulders down here, inverse, right around 68. If we can break that $68, we could probably take it up a couple bucks, and then long in here a resistance channel of 71.35 to 72.51. MU also had earnings. This thing kind of had a poor reaction to earnings. I think it's just an opportunity maybe to take on this trade with the lowest possible support at 89.20 and resistance to break, I'm going to say right there, right around 96. 84 with a support level to stay bullish at 94 bucks. Then you'll get back down in this channel, or she breaks resistance and go long in it right around 100 bucks. Amazon's on everybody's watch list. They like this stock. Here's another one that needs to break the 200 to become bullish, and it could run up to 200 bucks, around 4 bucks. And we got FedEx. A lot of bullish people on FedEx right now. It also had earnings. Let's look at the weekly time frame on this one here. We broke below support, so resistance to break's got to be that 242.80 area. 242.80. And we got to maintain and hold support level right here at 228.95, 229. Now that'll keep the stock bullish, or she pulls on back down to 216. But resistance to break's going to be the 200. This is FedEx. I think there's a lot of people that like this area. We had 3 black crows with a spinning top. So resistance to breaks the 200. Support to hold is right around 229. AVGO. Oops. We can pull back and hit the 50 SMA and be a solid buy, I think, here on the weekly time frame. And Google. Google's bearish. We got to break to 63, right at 166.41 to run this back up to the 50. Or she double bottoms here at 156 something, 156.70. Target's looking cheap. Now, I'm not into this woke piece of crap, but we're definitely at a 3-year low and resistance support level. If we can maintain 104.29 on this trade, I think we can run it back up to the shoulder line of this inverse head and shoulders and hit that 9 right around 118 this coming week. It looks like a pretty good setup. Boeing, this is one that I really liked last week. It had a government contract for $20 billion. Let's go ahead and clear this up. I think this is going to start moving. We definitely had a big old bounce on this last couple of weeks. Resistance to break is going to be right around the 200 SMA on the weekly time frame. And support level is going to hold right here at 162. I'm using this here support level right here and the bodies of these candles right in here. So that's like a compromise, or we come back and we hit that support right there. Somewhere right around 150. And I'd go long. If we hit 150, I'd go long in this trade. Definitely go long in it. If we come back and hit 150. Now, this one's going to start getting bullish. And this would be a big... Back in the day, Boeing was the stock to watch. Because if it was a leading market indicator, just like the automobile industry. But Boeing was one to watch, and it'd been doing nothing but shit ever since they went woke and went DEI. I don't know what got these CEOs being so political. To me, that was a big mistake. I would have kept my mouth shut. Not even, if you're going to hire DEI people, keep your mouth shut about it. Don't boast about it. I mean, are you a freaking idiot? Disney, same as Bob Iger. He kind of sucks. This Disney movie didn't do it no helpness. Did it some harm. But they like this stock. The fat cats will trade it. So this could easily run back up to 113.72. Personally, I've been bashing it ever since they went woke. And I don't really like it no more. But on the weekly, we got that 114 area. And we can maintain support here at the tweezer bottom at 98.70. I think we could have a nice little run up and try to break them resistance levels. I think that's about it for now. Let me think of one off the top of my head. If you have any suggestions on, what was it, CrowdStrike? That was one there. Oh, Mr. CrowdStrike had 3 black crows. So this one can consolidate, find resistance right around 373, pull back to the 50, and be a solid buy at 332.50. And I'm going to put Mr. up here. Mr. bounces off the 50, We got to break the 9 for it to go higher. We got a gap in here. So right around 260, 270, 269.50. I think this could be a good solid trade to trade within that channel. If it breaks the 9, we'll go higher. And that 9 is right around 307.68. And these are just rough guesses. I mean, if you come close to like 307.50, that's what one of the tricks, you know, I'd be looking at getting out of this trade. Or I'd see if we could break that 307.50, 307.68. So that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a quits right here. This is the sneaky snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And being in the now means that I feel like I'm a little bullish, that everything out there has been kind of bullish to me, but the fat cats will carry on about the tariffs. So April 2nd, there will be some certainty in the market to cause this market to move up, tariffs or not. We might have a bad reaction and then an automatically good pop-up, which would be a big day to make a lot of money. So April 2nd, when the news comes out, we're going to find out. I think he's been using it as a gauge to try to tell people, you know, these other foreign countries have been ripping us off for many years, that we're not going to take it anymore, and that we're too far in debt, and we need to do something about our debt. We're in huge debt right now, and politicians are greedy. They've been in it for the money, especially the Democrats. And they're getting filthy rich, making over $100, $200 million in a lifetime of politics. And they're bashing Schumer now. So, I mean, this is just, we don't want to censor them. We want them to keep yakking, and it just makes them look bad. Especially when they support the criminals of our country. So that's it. I wish everybody a great week. Go back, and if you're ever in doubt, watch this video a couple times. You can go back on any of them that I've mentioned and see where I've called support and resistance at, and you can get some kind of idea. And please subscribe, follow, hit the like. And let's see how many people we can hit the like on this video this week. And I wish everybody a great trading week. I'm ready, man. I'm excited and I'm bullish. And I'm a bull trader in a way at all times. I try to look for the bounces at support, chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Have a great day and a great week. And this is Tie Sunday. Got a lot of compliments on my yellow tie today. Showing respect, every Sunday I wear a tie. It's always a different color with the same old, well, different color shirts too. Whatever I can get to match the best. Today I'm wearing white with cup links on in my shirt. So I really went to church looking fine today. I had a lot of pretty women with married men say, "Man, I love that yellow tie." Have a great day.